This week's going to be crazy in the stock market, guys. A lot is going on. We have big tech earnings. We have the GDP advanced estimate that's coming out, I think, on Thursday. We have the Federal Reserve meeting, the 26th and the 27th. We got a lot to break down in this video, but before we do, make sure to get your free stocks from Moomoo. You get 10 stocks, each up to $2,500 with a $100 deposit, and you could also get 6 stocks from Webull with any amount deposited. All those stocks are linked down below, and with that being said, it's going to be a long one, guys. Cheers, sit back, relax. Let's dive into the video. So at this point, you guys probably know Friday was not the best day for the stock market. The S&P, Dow, the NASDAQ, the Russell, all of these went down in a pretty big way. The NASDAQ and the Russell down almost 2% on the day. And even though we had a bad day on Friday, the bulls still did very well overall last week. And I'd make a strong argument here in the very short term, the bulls are still in charge. You guys can see SPY's clearly above 392, which was the high from, the past couple of weeks. You guys can see that here, and Triple Q is above the highs from the past couple of weeks as well. Those are right around 297, 298. So I'd argue in the short term, bulls are still in charge. And you guys can see on this 5-day chart, Triple Q hit a fresh high Friday morning, and SPY did as well, despite the fact that they collapsed, afterwards, right? They hit these highs anyway. So you guys can see that's, it furthers the case for the bulls still being in charge. So for this week, and we'll see the futures market, it opens up here in 2 minutes. For this week, we got to see what the bulls do around 392 on SPY and roughly at about 300 on Triple Q. Do the bulls buy this up? We start moving back up 305, 310 on Triple Q, SPY towards maybe, 398, 400. If that does happen, obviously, that would be very bullish, right? But then again, guys, like I said in the intro, we have a lot of things going on this week. So this week is really kind of a play it by ear kind of week, if you know what I mean. We have to let things unfold. The Fed meeting, GDP on Thursday, big tech, and I'm talking all of big tech is this week pretty much. Google, Microsoft, Apple, Amazon, Meta. So there's a lot going on this week. So for us to be able to think like we can predict the market right now, we're pretty stupid if we think that, right? And I don't think that. I know things are going to be pretty wild this week, so we have to play it by ear. And in a second, the futures market is going to open. Alrighty, there we go. So they just opened up at 6 p.m. right now on the East Coast when I'm filming. Obviously, that's when they open up on Sunday night, guys, if you didn't know. And we have the S&P futures currently down a little bit, down about 0.1%. NASDAQ pretty much at break even. Let's see here, the Dow futures, they're down 0.1%. Same with the S&P, as the Russell futures are down just ever so slightly as well. So we're not really making any big move in either direction, but we are leaning more towards the red right now, which is interesting because if I pull up crypto here, guys, this stuff is green right now. Look at this. Crypto's currently green. We have Ethereum up 5%, right around $1,625. And by the way, this is Webull, again, the platform that I talked about in the intro of the video. If you guys want 6 stocks from Webull with any amount deposited, you know where those are. They're linked down below, and all those links down below do help out the channel. I appreciate you all as always. So we can see here on Webull, Ethereum's up about 5%, and notice where we're testing right now. We're testing the highs from the past roughly 5 days at this point, since the 19th of July. Those highs are right around 1620 to about 1630. So if the bulls can take that out here on Ethereum, we're probably in the very short term, honestly, this is just me being giving you guys my thoughts, probably 1700. And that's a level that I talked about a lot. If you guys have been paying attention to my YouTube channel here, by no means am I a crypto expert or I'm a crypto channel. I'm a stock market channel. You guys know that. But in the little breakdowns of crypto that we do pretty much every day at this point, I mentioned how 1700, if you guys take a look at these levels from back in 2021, April, March, May, June, we held roughly 1700, so to the upside. And even back in May of this year. Just a couple of months ago, we held 1,700. So that makes it, the next upside target, if that makes any sense, right? So Ethereum, again, I think if it breaks 1,630, we're probably going to start going 1,700 in the very short term. Now, the funny thing is, or the interesting thing is, Bitcoin is not really following along in terms of testing the highs from a couple of days ago. Bitcoin's still about $1,400 off the highs from the 20th of this month. Those highs were right around 24.2. Now we're at 22.7. Excuse me, guys. So this is a pretty decent amount off the highs. And you guys can see here on the 10-day chart or maybe on the hourly chart, we're kind of in a little downwards channel. We have been in the past couple of days here on Bitcoin. So if Bitcoin can, let's say, break 23,000, that's going to be a key spot to the upside here. If that point breaks, we might be going 23.8, 24.2. That's where it could be going, and maybe at that point it does break out, but we're not there yet, so keep that in mind. We're not there yet, but these are some things to keep your eyes on for the next couple of days here, the beginning of this week, as we are going to have a crazy week with the Federal Reserve meeting on Wednesday, the 26th to the 27th. We're going to get most likely a 75 basis point rate hike, and we also have the GDP number, which economists expect this report to show the economy grew at an annualized pace of 0.5% last quarter, according to the estimates from Bloomberg, which I'm not buying that. You guys know I think we're in a recession, and I think the numbers coming out soon here will show that, but who knows? Maybe I'm wrong. What do you guys think? Let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. Hit that like button. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't done so already. I appreciate all of you guys as always. And with that being said, let's jump from crypto over here to ThinkOrSwim and let's get into these stocks because we have a lot of stocks this week. Like I mentioned, this week's going to be freaking crazy. We have big tech, and not only do we have big tech, we have Visa, MasterCard, Chipotle Mexican Grill, we have Shopify, we have Intel, we have Ford, Enphase, UPS, Spotify, Boeing, Roku, ExxonMobil, Chevron. Should I keep going, guys? I mean, we have Procter & Gamble, AbbVie, Coca-Cola. There are literally 25, 30 plus important, I'd say important companies reporting earnings this week, and there's no way I can cover them all in this video, by the way, which is why we're only going to do about 10, 12, maybe 13, 14 stocks in this video. So enough of the talking, let's just dive into it. Number one, we have my biggest individual stock holding, which is Google. They report on the 26th, which is on Tuesday, and fun fact, guys, fun fact, excuse me again, let me get some water. Hold up. Fun fact, I bought more Google on Friday at about $108 a share, and we actually closed a little bit above where I ended up buying. And if you guys saw my video, I made a little 2-minute video on Saturday. It was actually a TikTok response, and by the way, make sure to go follow me on TikTok at StasserFest. I kind of covered a question I always get. In that TikTok, I talk more about Google, and a question I always get about Google, why am I buying if I think it could go lower in the short term, and why people buy stocks in general if they think they could go lower in the short term. Make sure to go check that out on TikTok at StasserFest. Actually, I uploaded it here on YouTube Shorts as well. Either way, guys, I bought more Google at $108 a share. They report on Tuesday, and their EPS is looking to be average EPS estimate of $1.31 on revenue of $70.04 billion, which is looking to be up about, $1.31. Maybe I wrote that wrong. I have to go double check that, guys. That might be a mistake. That doesn't sound right. But revenue, that sounds right. About $70.04 billion, which is looking to be up 13.2% year over year. So you guys, if you watch my channel, you know my thoughts on Google. Sure, they might get hit here in the short term. We got awful earnings from Snapchat. They didn't provide guidance. It spooked the stock. There's going to be most likely, there's already advertising pressures here in the short term. How long is this going to continue? In my opinion, guys, for Google, I don't really care. Personally, I don't care if this pain continues in the short term because I know Google is going to make it out through the other side, which is why I'm buying more at these levels, and especially if it gets under $100 a share. So we also have Microsoft this week. A lot of people own Microsoft. They talk about it, but it's not in the mainstream as much as you'd argue, or you'd see rather Apple or maybe Google or maybe, well, for sure Tesla and Meta, right? And Microsoft is kind of like the one in the background at this point. At least that's how I think. It doesn't mean it's a terrible company. It's just not as much in the spotlight as some of these other names in the big tech space. And honestly, that's a good thing. I mean, that's actually a good thing. Depending on what you're looking for at the end of the day. But I'd say it's a good thing. And this stock overall is down 24% over the past couple of months, so it's clearly in a bear market. And they report the same day as Google, the 26th. And by the way, these are both after the bell, not before the bell, after the bell, meaning after market hours. And their EPS is looking to be about $2.30 on revenue of $52.47 billion, up 13.7% year over year. So both Google and Microsoft, if they do grow about 13%, which, mind you guys, these are the average estimates. These are not, it's not for sure going to happen, but let's say they both grow 13%. I'd say that is respectable considering the economy that we're in right now and the fact that ads are really getting hit. And trust me being a YouTuber, I know I'm a smaller YouTuber, guys. I'm a small YouTuber, but I'm seeing earnings coming down from ads. And I know a lot of the bigger YouTubers, bigger channels talk about that. And I've been seeing this pretty much all year, honestly. Nothing crazy. It's not like it's dropped 50%, but it's come down 20, probably 25-ish%, maybe more like 20%, at least for me, since the beginning of the year. And it's been coming down slowly, like 3 percentage points per month. And it's come down about 20%, at least me personally, guys. And I'd love to know if you're a YouTuber watching this, let me know your thoughts about that in the comments. So Microsoft, Google, we also have Apple, AAPL. This is going to be a big one, guys. This one is right around $155, and mind you, this has already rallied a lot. This is one that we called out when it was under $130, and mind you, it was momentarily under $130, but we were talking about it when it was in that low point, when it was at that oversold state, and we were talking about how it was at the bottom of the channel. Now it's pretty much rallied to the top of the channel, guys. So at this point, I would be very cautious with Apple. I'm not saying it can't go higher. It could definitely go higher, but in the short term, I'd be cautious. And they report on the 28th, which is actually on Thursday. And this is, I'd argue, I mean, it's not good or bad, but with Google and Microsoft reporting on Tuesday, depending on how their numbers look, it might fluctuate Apple's stock price in the short term, and maybe we can get a move in that time frame, right? Because me personally, I'm not looking to buy it before earnings and gamble through earnings, but if it pulls back a little bit, who knows? Maybe we can get some sort of move here on Apple. They're expected to do $1.16 EPS on revenue of $82.6 billion. And again, I'm not forcing it, guys. We're at the top of this channel. If this pulls back to the mid 140s, I think that'd be a healthy spot for Apple, me personally. So the next one is Amazon. I mean, geez, the five-headed monster is reporting earnings this week, guys. This is insane. Amazon's on the 28th, same day as Apple. EPS estimate 14 cents. Revenue estimate $119 billion, which is up only 3.4% year over year. So think about that. They're going to do $120 billion. Apple and Microsoft combined, they're going to do about $130 billion estimated. That's crazy. Amazon's almost doing as much revenue this quarter, projected, estimated, as Microsoft and Apple combined. That is freaking insane. So they're on the 28th, like I said, and Amazon's been slowly reversing. And it's about time, honestly, because this thing has been destroyed. It was just about $170 about 3.5 months ago. Now it's at $122. It is above the moving averages. We're trading at a multi-week high. I think if Amazon takes out, let's say, $125 to $127 a share, there could be a lot of momentum to the upside. And it really comes down to earnings. At this point, it really comes down to earnings and the Federal Reserve, of course, which we'll talk more about as we get closer to Wednesday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and we get closer to the meeting. So, yeah, Amazon, watch it, guys. I'm setting my alert. Mark is at we're above $125 a share. We have Meta, which I think is, from a PE perspective, the cheapest out of the big tech names, in my opinion, by far. I think the cheapest is Meta, followed by Google, and I don't know after that. We could argue all day about that, guys, but I think Meta is the cheapest, and this one, it got destroyed on Friday, down 8% because of Snapchat, right, which went down 40%. I can't even say that without laughing, guys. 40 freaking percent. When you own a stock, even if it's a small position, guys, you got to take the punches sometimes. You got to look at your position and be like, I'm down 40% today. This is it's just the life of the stock market, right? And if you have risk management, good portfolio allocation, which we're not going to break down in this video, you should be able to take those punches and survive them. And don't worry, guys, I'll be fine. Even though Snapchat 40%, that's a Mike Tyson knockout right there, guys. Let's be friggin' honest. So yeah, Meta, they're looking to do EPS of $2.61 on revenue of, what is it, $28.97 billion, which that would be up about 3.9% year over year. So if they end up, it's possible, totally possible. If they end up collapsing like Snapchat and this thing takes the lows out. Oops, I knocked my computer. Takes that 153 low out from a couple of weeks ago. This goes to the 140s. I'm going to have to buy more. At that point, it's at 170 now. Last time I bought, I couldn't even tell you what price I bought. But just know, I've been buying in the 160s, 70s, 80s, all the way down, right? So, and it's been a couple of weeks, so I think the last time I bought was maybe low 170s. That's possible. I'm pretty sure. So if this gets to the 140s, that is where I'm going to be buying more. And I've said this before. It's not like I'm just saying it now. I've said it before. My next range of buying on Meta is in the 140s. So I'm watching that one heavily this week, guys. The next one is Visa, which we might as well group this in with MasterCard, two of the big payment processing companies, competitors, duopoly, whatever you want to call it. Earnings for Visa, they report on the 26th, which is on Tuesday. EPS $1.74, that's the estimate, on revenue of $7.06 billion, and MasterCard is looking to do EPS of $2.35 on revenue of $5.26 billion, which that revenue would be up 20% year over year. Pretty respectable growth there for MasterCard. So MasterCard reports on the 28th, you guys can see here, and mind you, this thing's up a lot in the past couple of weeks. From about $300, now it's at $340, $345. It's up 14%. So be careful on this. But overall, it is breaking out of the moving averages, which is good. And to be honest, guys, I prefer Visa's chart here. I like Visa's chart way more. We have a reversal, break out of the descending triangle, golden cross. Now, if we take out on Visa here, about 218, 220, there could be a move, 225, probably towards 230. And it all comes down to earnings. And Visa reports 2 days prior to MasterCard. So you already know what's going to happen with that. MasterCard is going to be running pretty crazily after Visa reports in either direction, depending on what Visa ends up reporting. So, yeah, I'm watching both of these, Visa, MasterCard. I'm also watching good old Chipotle Mexican Grill. They're in a clear downtrend. They've been in one for months, nothing new. This thing's down about $600 a share, $500-600 in the past couple of months, or in other words, down about 30%. So we have Chipotle on the 26th, which is on Tuesday. Average EPS is looking to be $9.04 on revenue of $2.24 billion, which is up 19.1% year over year. So a lot of these companies, guys, they're still growing pretty respectable. They still have pretty respectable growth rates year over year. Chipotle 20%. MasterCard 20%. And granted, again, I can't stress this enough. These are estimates. We don't know what's actually going to happen. We have to wait a couple of days. But if they report these numbers, Chipotle 20%, MasterCard 20%, Microsoft, Google 13%, 14%, each. Not too bad. And the next stock here, and mind you guys, again, Chipotle is in a downtrend, so I'm going to set my alert at $1,400 right by that 180 moving average, and we'll see what it does from there here in the short term. So the next one here is Enphase, which you guys probably should know at this point is a growth company. So they're going to be growing in most environments. That's what strong growth companies do at this point. So that means, unless they go bankrupt, which I don't think they're going to go bankrupt, they're going to be growing at a pretty decent clip, even if we're in a recession and especially in good times. Now, does that always happen with all stocks that are growth stocks? No, but in this case, Enphase is prevailing in this market that we're in because they're expected to do 84 cents EPS. That's profitable, right? On revenue of $504 million, which if they do that, $504 million, that's going to be up almost 60% year over year. Pretty freaking impressive, right? So Enphase is one for sure to keep an eye on. We have an ascending triangle on this 4-hour chart. We've been uptrending for a good 2.5 months since the middle of May here, and we have clear resistance at 220 since the beginning of April. So if we break 220, guys, watch out above on Enphase. Could be going 250, 75, maybe even higher than that. What else do we got here? We have Shopify. And by the way, if you guys are still here, let me know your thoughts in the comments. Hit that like button. Don't forget to get your 10 stocks from Moomoo. I appreciate you all as always, and your 6 stocks from Webull. Those are linked right down below. We have Shopify this week, guys. They report on the 27th, which is on Wednesday, and they went down a lot on Friday. 7.5%, bloody day for Shopify. But if you look at the chart, looks like the bulls are still in charge in the short term. We're above the moving averages. We closed above 36.50, which was that high from the 8th of July. That's a good sign for the bulls. So if we do get a gap up above, let's say, $38, this could be going back to 40, maybe 41 a share, and that's going to be the real test. 41 a share here on Shopify has been resistance since the middle of May. If that point breaks, we could be going, $45, $48, maybe even higher. And for their estimates, guys, their EPS is looking to be about 3 cents, which is profitable, all right, on revenue of $1.71 billion, which is also up a big amount, 64% year over year. And again, Enphase was roughly about 60% too. So I'm watching Shopify in this little $38, $40 window. I want to see what it ends up doing. Now, the next one here is Intel, which they report on the 28th, which I believe is, I think that's Thursday, right? Intel is going to do, or expected to do, 69 cents EPS with revenue, or on revenue, of $17.92 billion, which would be down 3.3% year over year. So Intel's revenue, if they do $17.9 billion, it's going to be contracting about 3.3% year over year, which at this point the market is for sure expecting, and that's already priced in my opinion, in the stock here. So for Intel, I'm holding on to this. It's one of my long-term investments. I've been getting that dividend, and that dividend is coming back, or not coming back, but it's paying out on the 4th of August. So in about a week and a half, whatever that is, 10 days, you're going to be getting that Intel dividend, and I'm going to be getting it again because I do own this the stock. So let's watch it. Slowly reversing. We might get a golden cross. We might not. We have to wait a couple of days and see how this one ends up playing out. We also have Qualcomm, QCOM, which they report on Wednesday, the 27th. EPS estimate for them is looking to be about $2.87 on revenue of $10.87 billion. And what we're noticing here on Qualcomm, guys, is it's pretty overbought. Let's be honest. It's very extended above these moving averages, and we are reversing. No doubt, we are reversing. We have a golden cross, but I think it has to cool off before we end up playing it, at least in my opinion. If this thing currently, which is at $153, if this comes down to, let's say, 140, maybe 135, right around these moving averages to retest them, maybe not 135. That might be a bit, I don't want to say crazy, but that would be implying a drop of 10%. Maybe that doesn't happen, but let's say we come down to 140, 145. Would that be more reasonable? I would probably consider it in the lower 140s. So watch out for Qualcomm, guys. Their report again this week on Wednesday. Same thing with Ford. Ford is one that I want under $10, but it's running away from me. It's at $12.80 right now. The stock went down 1.3% on Friday, and it's been reversing, guys. Look at that. It was $10.60 about 2-3 weeks ago, and since that point it's up 20% and it's at $12.80. So I'm kind of banking on, or not banking, but I kind of want Ford's earnings to be bad. So if you're in Ford, I'm sorry, but I need a buying opportunity. I want to own the stock under $10, which I'm waiting out on it. If I never get the price, all right, it's okay. And you got to keep in mind, guys, I always say this, and I'm not the person that coined this, but a lot of people say this: price is what you pay, value is what you get. I'm trying to get a good value on Ford. I don't want to just own the company for the sake of owning it. I want to own it at a good value, right? And I want to pay the right price for it, which I think is in the, honestly, $7, $8 level, but $9, I'd consider it as well. So Ford, we got to watch it. And this is another one that if they do the projected revenue, which is 34.32 billion, they're going to be up over 40% year over year on revenue, and EPS is looking to be about 45 cents, which is profitable. So I'm watching out for Ford, guys. I'm looking forward to it, and all these other companies as well: Qualcomm, Intel, forget Snapchat, guys. Shopify, Enphase, Chipotle, MasterCard, Visa, Meta, Amazon, Apple, Microsoft, Google. Dang it, we talked about so many stocks today, guys, and we have more. There's bonus ones that we can go over, but we're not in this video because it's already way too long to begin with. But just to quickly shout them out, we have UPS this week, Spotify, Boeing, Roku, Exxon, Chevron. We have Procter & Gamble, AbbVie, Coca-Cola. So make sure you guys subscribe because we're going to break down all these stocks even more when they do report earnings later this week. So subscribe, hit that like button, let me know your thoughts in the comments, join my Patreon. Do not forget to get your free stocks from Moomoo with a $100 deposit. Each of those stocks could be up to $2,500 and you get 10 stocks, guys. Those are linked down below. Same with the 6 free stocks from Webull with any amount deposited. I'll catch you in the next video, guys. Cheers. Thanks for watching as always. If you stuck till the end, you're the real MVP. I mean, geez, 30-minute video, 25-minute video. You guys are awesome. I'll see you in the next video. Peace out.